Hi guys, welcome back to the Fight Podcast with Sharir Jan.
Hello, Jan. How are you?
And with me, Jan. Hi. Sharir, this is already our 10th episode. How does that make you feel?
I'm having fun.
Things are moving fast.
Yeah.
For this 10th episode, what did you do today? What did you do before you came here?
Celebrate it?
To celebrate it? What's your celebration?
I actually just came from a workout. I did deadlift this morning.
Thursday is deadlift day?
Usually Thursday or Sunday.
So you have a plan. Also, if you're not you're not currently at the gym.
Yeah.
At your gym.
If there's possibility to lift, I always lift. Most places where I go to, there's not enough plates.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll lift lighter.
I saw you do that here. You put all of our weights on one thing. You did the military press. This is like...
Yeah.
First time I saw that, it's like he loads it up. I'm like, yeah, sure, he's that. he keeps on doing it. It's like, and it was multiple reps.
Yeah, it's not that much weight. For those who are listening, it's like he's just excited over nothing.
Okay, it's an insane amount, but still, yeah. In general, what do you do for? Do you focus on lifting? Is that your main?
Personally, I do. I focus. So I lift every day. 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do, when I finish lifted, I do about 20 minutes every day on the heavy bag.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the bag. That's my workout. And then I do sparring. I do about, I would say about between 40 minutes to an hour of sparring every day with my guys. But I don't, that part, like for me, I don't really consider it a workout because sometimes I could be lazy if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
So every morning I do lifting and 20 minutes on the bag or 30 minutes on the bag.
And it kind of depends on how you spar as well, because if you're preparing for a fight or something, the way you train then is different from when you're just in practice.
Right, but I'm not preparing for a fight,
Mm-hmm.
and even if my guys are preparing for a fight, I'm not going to spar hard with them because of the weight difference. I'm usually heavier.
Yeah.
And actually, when my guys prepare for a fight, at least the last few fights, I actually was kind of afraid to do to wrestle or grapple with them too much.
Yeah.
Because of the weight difference, and you're pulling on the head and the pressure on the neck and all that. It's better to find people more or less their weight. That's what I think.
Because they're more used to that amount of pressure?
Just prevent injuries.
Mm.
Just prevent injuries. The weight difference, it could be a lot. Like right now, I'm 115 kilo. I'm not huge, but big,
Mm-hmm.
What's that, 115? That's anyway, yeah, in kilos,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not pounds. So it's, in pounds, it's 2.2 times 2.2, right? The guy who was fighting, he fights at 84 kilo. So that's a big weight difference. Even though he's a big guy, it's still a big weight difference.
Mm.
So yeah, that's why other people could go harder. I try not to.
And that's coming from someone who says that for preparation of an MMA fight, you let your guys fight multiple opponents to just get them used to the pressure.
It's, the reason why is also just it also develops insane cardio.
Mm-hmm.
Insane cardio and aggression and pressure. It's one drill. We do it all the time. It's just one of the drills that you could use for that.
So let's talk about those guys, especially a little further. So when you just not for in fight camp, not to prepare them for a fight, but just in regular training, what amount of fitness, not just the technical training, but what amount of fitness do they do? Your guys in MMA Jerusalem.
They work out every day, right? Honestly, every person has a different plan. It's not the same for every person, but all of them, all the people who takes training seriously, I should say, right, want to compete or are competing, they do around 2 workouts a day, right? One of them is going to be strength training, and one of them is going to be more cardio, and then we spar together. We spar every day. And then there's a technical training as well.
Mm-hmm. So if you have, if you prepare for someone for a fight, and I've seen that with There's some prominent figures in MMA who claim to do that between fights. They just let themselves go.
What do you mean?
There's this Irish fighter, for instance, who in between fights, when he leans, when he trains more, he gets lean again, whatever. In between, he gets a little chubby, just because that's like the way he prefers to eat in the
off season.
Yeah, the off season thing.
Yeah.
And but he doesn't really train that much. At least he claims in those periods. What do you think are the dangers if you do that, or is that something that you advise you guys against?
I just like when people stay sharp, just because depending on the level of where you fight and what organization, if it's like the top organization in the world, it usually doesn't happen. But when you're not at the top of the world, more simple kind of people, you could get a fight notice in a week, and you can't always say no, because then they're not going to offer you all the more fights,
spots, yeah.
And also because you want your guys to move forward, So you can't really allow yourself to get fat and lazy and say, okay, my next fight's in 4 months, because you never know. So you can't, but you also can't always constant being a fight camp either. That's going to destroy you. So you have to keep in shape, keep in good fight shape all the time.
Like a good balance between workout and recovery.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a good, if you have to fight next week, you could. Maybe you're not going to be in top shape, but you're always in fight shape. That's how I do it.
When you train your guys, what are the fitness aspects that you focus on? Like you said, cardio, for instance, is one of them.
Are you talking about fight camp or like normal?
No, for fight camp for the MMA guys, MMA Jerusalem.
Once you're preparing for a fight officially,
if that's the goal.
So if you start a fight camp, we do strength and we do a lot of circuits, and then a lot of sparring. Right, and then depending on the opponent, depending on the fight, escaping bad positions or whatever, working on your game plan, and just a lot of time on the mat. The best thing is if you could bring people, from the outside as well, like to grapple or to strike, to spar with you. But there's the closer you get to the fight, we'll start. You stop. Or you put down the weights, the heavy. You start working more just a circuit.
I think that's interesting. You said despite training for strength and for cardio, for endurance, you also said that you escape bad positions. That means you train mental fitness as well.
Bad positions. I mean, like actual hands-on work. Like back mount or knee and belly or mount. Or in the corner on the cage, whatever. Working on that a lot.
I think that gets overlooked oftentimes. Like this is also a part of fitness that you have to keep training if you want to compete.
Yeah,
that mental agility to be able to, especially with grappling, for instance. There's a lot of things that you need to be able to react to. I think you described this as flowing, and that's
also,
something.
If you're used to working in bad positions. And you kind of get comfortable there, and you have that toughness and the confidence in escaping a bad position. It's very hard to catch you in a bad. And if it's very hard to catch you in a bad position, your chances of winning increase. So why not?
And if you prepare you guys for, let's say, an MMA competition, you go into fight camp. What are the fitness goals? Like, when do you know they've had enough? Kind of.
So if it's a 5-minute round, three rounds usually. So the goal is to get him to do between to be able to go 5 or 6 rounds. Usually, preferably 6 rounds in training. So I do 6 5-minute rounds of circuit training, or also 6 5-minute rounds of actual MMA sparring, and we do that every day.
So we're talking hard sparring.
With usually with this gear on, protective, but yeah. Or it could be different drills. I mean, let's say we go 25 minutes of wrestling, or 25 minutes of grappling. Well, the guy who's competing stays in the middle, but every 2 minutes a new fresh partner comes in. That's very hard.
So they're still energized.
Yeah, they're still energized, and you're like after a couple minutes, you know, you're really drained. And you do that also like you can start with people on his back, right? So every 2 minutes, someone else is on your back, and you start, you know, we get really tired. 25 minutes, 30 minutes of that, or just rounds of sparring. And also, of course, circuit training. Like 1 minute this, 1 minute that, 1 minute that, you know, keep changing. But 5-minute rounds, 1 minute break, do it again.
And how do you deal with the risk-reward ratio of sparring before the fight? Because that's something that happens sometimes where a fighter gets injured before a fight.
You can't always prevent it, you know, but if it's 3 months out, you could go hard, kind of. The closer you get, the lighter you start going. You know, you can't always prevent an injury. You can just do the best you can to prevent it.
So the closer you come to the fight, the easier you want to spar, but the more you want to work out.
No, you can work it out. You 2 weeks out, you should be already in top shape and ready to go. Usually, like 4 or 5 days before the fight, they don't do anything. It's just rest.
Okay. And also you said because people don't always know when they're competing, you just said you kind of want them to be ready at all times. Like it's not like the every day is fight camp, but there's like a certain level of fitness you want them to maintain. And that reminds me of when you're talking about people who look to Krav classes, for instance. The idea is to be kind of ready at all times. It's not like, okay, there's a competition coming up, and what do you think, like how is it different to prepare someone in your Krav class than you prepare your MMA guys? Like how is there any difference at all?
Yeah, there's a difference. But like you have to be in shape, right? It's never gonna hurt you to be in shape, and I think a person should also try to be as strong as he could be. You know, you don't have to be as strong as that guy or as strong as that guy or stronger than that guy, but take whatever you have and use it to 100% of your capability. Then you'll be a beast at least at your size. You know, and if you're a beast at least at your size, because you use 100% of what you have, you're automatically very strong and probably stronger than many people who are bigger than you. You're
making most of what you have been given.
Exactly. So you're already, you know, being small is not an excuse like in the street. Nobody asked you if you're big or small. You just got your ass kicked, you know. In fact, probably if you do fight in the street, the guy's going to be bigger than you, or he's going to have friends, multiple opponents, which altogether they're bigger than you. Because nobody starts a fight thinking they're going to lose. Right?
Yeah.
So people look for easy targets. Okay, what's an easy target? I'm big, you're small. You're an easy target. Or we're 5 or 6 people, and you're one, so okay, you're an easy target.
The only exception that I've seen was road rage, where people just went crazy for some strange reason.
Or if I have a weapon, if I have a knife on me, then you know, I'm already bigger than you automatically, even if I'm a small guy. So being strong is important. You know, I recommend everybody. If you ask me, I recommend for everybody strength training on your level. You know, you could do powerlifting. You could also do just body weight training. You know, push-ups. Pull-ups are great. For strength, pull-ups, really good. Right? And you could do, you know, other stuff, body weight, and that still you'll be strong, you know. But I always like kind of refrain from saying, you know, for a street fight, you have to do exactly this. Just work out as much as you can and be as strong as you can, you know. And yeah, there's specific drills, you know, warrior development drills, by the way, put you into top shape. Right, and you should be, if you want to work specific, you know, work on explosive power, because in a fight, in the ring, let's say when you fight, you warm up. You know, in the dressing room, you warm up, you hit the pads, you stretch, you prepare yourself mentally. You know, you go in. You know, some people like to do like meditation almost and all that. And then you come into the cage or the ring, you're already sweating, and you know what's about to happen. You're excited, you're nervous. You know, there's a crowd, especially if it's your first times. But you prepared yourself for that, and you prepared yourself for that in many cases for 3 months. That's all you think about. That's all you think about.
If you're prepared the right way, then you bring everything to the table. You bring everything you have.
Hopefully, and that's all you think about. And everyone knows what's about to happen, right? In a street fight, you go from 0 to 100 right away. Boom, just like that. You didn't prepare for it usually, and it come from a side angle or someone hitting you over the head in your back from the back or something like that. So it's 0 to 100, boom, right away, and that's very important to work on your explosive power. Being able to just like explode. That's very, very helpful tool for a street fight.
I'd like you to go more into detail on how you train, on how you powerlift, because I think the issue that most people have when they think about lifting is they think, or their first contact might have been bodybuilding, and that's not something that you do.
With a beautiful face like I have, I don't need to bodybuild.
No, but there's a different approach you take to lifting. It's not about shaping your body a certain way, but how is the way that you lift different from that?
How is powerlifting different than
bodybuilding? How do you approach lifting weights?
So you work on strength specifically. So we also don't do as many exercises, right? And also the numbers of reps, and also the weight is different.
So you try less reps, more weight, like more breaks? Longer breaks?
What I do is sets of 5, 5 sets of 5. I do that a lot. Sometimes I do 5 sets of 3, depending on the weight. The weight is longer, especially when you're going really heavy. The weight sometimes could be like 7 minutes for me. When you lift weights, this is a important concept to understand, and a lot of people miss this thing. Lifting weights doesn't make you stronger, right? Recovery from lifting weights makes you stronger, right? So think about that for a second. That's why the amount of recovery or how much you weight between sets, that's important. If you're going through like you reach like a plateau and like you're like going through, I wasn't able to go heavy for a long time or to break my record. Maybe that's because you're not letting yourself recover or, enough or something like that. So the recovery is different. The number of sets is different. And also, like I said, the exercises is not as many exercises. Just focus on strength. But I don't do only like strictly powerlifting. I also focus on I do a lot of grip strength. I work on that a couple times a week. Forearm strength. Grip strength for fighting is very helpful. For wrestling and grappling. I work a lot on my neck.
I think that's important to explain. Why is the neck important to be strong for fighting? Because there's multiple ways that you can use a strong neck.
Well, first of all, just helps you if you get punched, not get your head thrown off every second. That's so that helps you not get knocked out so quickly. Also, when you wrestle, the neck does a lot. The neck is connected to the trap muscles, the back. It's another tool you could use when you have that.
The head can be a lever while fighting.
A lot of times when you wrestle, the head is on the opponent, right? You grab a lot, whatever position you're in, but the head does a lot of work. If you have a head like a sardine, so you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, you're fighting. That's something that I when I first saw that being used and explained to me, that was something that was very revolutionary to me, to use my head to fight against someone. Like you use it to push, you use it to shove someone.
Did your parents ever tell you use your head?
Fighting with head. Fighting with my head. No, but that's a very important point. You said that what makes you stronger is not the workout itself, but the recovery. And I always, I've heard a lot of people say you need to sleep the correct amount, you need to do this, you need to do that. But you just said the time left between sets is something
it's part of the recovery.
It's part of the recovery in between sets
Yeah, I think at least, it's part of the recovery. The amount of time you rest is important too. In powerlifting, at least. when you're working strength. So,
and from the amount, or because I've seen you and some of the MMA Jerusalem guys, I've seen them lift. I've seen what you lift, and I've seen also you talked about this earlier on with me. That was off the air, but you said that lifting leaves you less prone to injury.
Yeah, I believe that. Like, I'm no doctor, but like that's from my personal experience. When you have a strong body, you get injured less, right? So when you have a thick back, and you're protecting your muscles are thick, they're protecting your joints. You just get injured less. You're less. That's what I find, at least with myself, and I think sometimes people who don't have that much experience, they say, "Oh, you're deadlifting, you're ruining your back," or maybe you heard that with people. Also, I don't know. It's not true. Anything you do wrong is not good for you. Anything you do with bad technique, bad form, but it's correct form, and you do it with the right plan, you must. I believe that any athlete must deadlift, for example. Any athlete, right, and squat.
And you see that also these, as like a basic example, with sometimes with older people, when they fall, there's a higher risk of injury as well. It's like these everyday scenarios where just a certain level of fitness might protect you. It's like something that it's not even just about fighting, but there's like a use to it in everyday life.
I know a lot of jiu-jitsu people, a lot of friends of mine, like the black belts who compete. I don't know one of them who's not injured in his neck or his back or something. And I think if they would try to powerlift, or at least some specific drills, they'll be injured less. Because of the back and neck, it will just be much stronger.
Yeah. So I think 1 or 2 days ago, I saw this little video, like a compilation of people who lifted very heavy weights, and they set them down and they fainted.
Yeah.
Why does that keep happening? And is that something that lifting heavy weights improves your cardiovascular system?
Oh, that's not why they faint. Yeah, but that's. I'm not saying you have to. Again, depending on your goal. If your goal is to be world's strongest man, you might have to push yourself that much. You get dizzy, you see black, and you faint. It happens for various reasons, but. Even if you work deadlift, for example, on light reps and more repetitions, you're still getting stronger. That's a strength exercise. Same goes for squat. Same goes, for example, for shoulder press. Shoulder press, I don't know, when you know what that is, pushing up with, like it's more important for strength than bench press, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right, a bench press is more famous exercise. I think people like it. You lay down. It's like how much
looks cool. Yeah,
people ask how much you bench. But
it's called a benchmark even.
But with just pure strength building, shoulder press gives you much more strength. At least that's what I found.
And you said that you lift every single day. But
yeah, not the same. Obviously, not the same exercise every day. But I do lift. I lift 6 days a week. Yeah.
And I think what's important for people who are listening to this and who want to get into all of this, I think it's important to know this thing where you keep doing it every day, even if you're not up to the standards that you expect of you. Like sometimes you're not that fit, or you didn't sleep well, or anything. Sometimes, but you still train every day.
I train every day. I have I keep for myself like a notebook with the weights. Like I have goals for this month, for the next 6 months, for the year. I try to as far as how much weight I want to lift. And then sometimes you got to change your plan. Of course, it doesn't work. It does work. There's, I travel a lot and other stuff, so you don't know what's going to be. But the point is to never stop, to be as consistent as you could. And then that, you get stronger with time.
So the main thing that you did, and I think that it's important for people to understand, is you build a habit of it. Even if there's some days where you don't feel like whatever lifting that much, you still do.
I'm not a it's a habit, exactly. I'm not a person who works on motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I just I don't I'm speaking personally. I don't feel like I need it. I'm always focused, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the discipline is much more important than motivation, you know.
That's a very interesting point.
That discipline, because motivation, sometimes people have it, you know. They see a movie or something. I don't know, hear something on YouTube. It's good for like a starter, you know, to start the engine. But you need discipline, because sometimes you're tired and you don't feel like doing it, and you had a bad day. You just want to, but the discipline is what gets you through it all the time.
And which is consistent. In my mind, motivation might change.
There's no way that I'm not working out. Like, in my mind, it doesn't matter. If there's no weights, I'm gonna do something else. I'll do body weight. I'll do push-ups. Mm-hmm. But there's no way that I'm not working out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think with motivation, there's like this whole industry that's now built upon this idea of motivational content and stuff. Like, okay, you just go down, you do this and treat yourself like shit, and afterwards you'll thank yourself for it. And all of these, the issue is sometimes, or at some point, that kind of uses itself off. There's no effect like it used to have at some point. Like just watching that stuff every time you want to work out, or listening, blasting music to get yourself in the zone, it kind of loses its touch.
If I could give a tip about that, if like help you get disciplined, is if you remember why you're doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You know, then you know, because sometimes when you're in it, whatever you're doing, you don't remember why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. But if you remember, okay, this is why I'm doing it, then you'll get motivated again, and you'll get more discipline to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, but you have to keep that in mind. You know, what are you doing this for? It's very hard to work out just because you want to work out, unless some people were like workout freaks, you know. Mm-hmm. But if you have a goal with it, okay, let's say I'm lifting this amount of weight, I want to be able in 6 months to lift this amount of weight. Okay, that's my goal. So you have easier to do it, right? Or okay, I want to compete at this and this level. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it, mm-hmm. right? Or I want to be able to protect my family. Okay, that's why I'm doing these lessons. That's why I'm doing these warrior development drills. That's why, mm-hmm. you know. But then, if you remember the reason and keep the reason in front of you all the time, it's going to be way easier to work out.
Mm-hmm. And I think one other danger of motivation is you go into the gym, you just saw this video, whatever, you haven't been in 2 months, you go there, you lift something, and either you might get injured because you overdo it, because you start off too heavy, or the other thing that happens, you're not lifting the amount, the number that you set in your head, you're not able to do what you set out to do, and then you resignate, and then it's just, okay, I'm not worth it, I'm not whatever. And I think that's an important...
you have to set goals when you work out that you could also believe you could achieve.
Mm-hmm. Realistic, maintainable.
Yeah, realistic goals. And then when you achieve it, like something like that's in your, you know, that's something like really close to you, you know that you can achieve it. You have no doubt that you can achieve it. It's much easier to mm-hmm. work towards that goal. And then once you achieve it, you set a little higher, and then a little higher, you know, and we make a plan to get it. But you should start like slowly, mm-hmm. you know, and okay, within 6 months I want to be here, within a year I want to be here, within 2 years I want to already be able to do something else. Mm-hmm. But start with baby steps.
So confidence is also a big part in this building the discipline that you have to maintain.
Yeah, you sometimes you have like really bad days too. Like you know that this is not. You just know that today is not the day, and it has like a huge difference in the weight. Like mm-hmm. something that you could usually lift like for 5 reps, like it doesn't go off the ground. And it happens a lot too. So that's part of training.
What do you do when this happens to you?
I just lift lighter.
Mm-hmm. And how do you? Because I've seen you've been doing this for, what do you think? How long, roughly?
I don't know exactly. I'm not good with years,
but a long time.
A long time, yeah.
A long time. So you've been doing this, and you're still at it. So how do you how do you balance this thing of, okay, I have to maintain, I have to be disciplined, but also not be injured because I overstep my boundaries? Like, how do you keep this in your mind? Like, how do you?
I'm a little extreme with that, so I can only speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people if I die while I'm on with my bar lifting, it's okay with me.
But also, if you get injured, there's the issue that you can't live afterwards.
Right. So don't be stupid.
It's the message of the day. Just don't be stupid while lifting.
You have to have it like patience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have patience. You have to be, and a lot of times your own ego gets in your way. And I'm no different that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very hard once you love it so much, and once I would say you're addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard not to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also never tell someone don't work out. I'll tell them, listen, work around it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've seen doctors who I respect more. It's not a doctor who tells a person, hey, stop working out. They'll say, listen, work around the pain or work until it hurts and stop.
Mm-hmm.
But still keep working out. I think a person should never stop working out.
Yeah, that's something that you told me too. Like, I was injured very recently, and you told me do everything but the stuff that you were injured in. Like, try going into it, not even like lifting until it hurts, but like you still need to maintain fitness around that.
You have to keep the discipline too.
Yeah.
You have to, especially if you get a certain age, you stop working out, you deteriorate really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't afford that. Nobody could afford that. If I have to crawl into the gym, I will, but I'm still gonna work out. Again, like I said, might be a bit extreme, but that's my attitude about it.
And the level you're at, because you're not like a basic fit guy. You're very extreme in that regard.
I have like personal goals about, for example, just for myself for the lifting, which I'm not gonna speak about here, but they're big, and but really I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I just love lifting, and once you enjoy what you do, it's also much easier to do it. Ever heard of something called a workout blues?
A workout blues?
Yeah, it's like when you don't, like, people who work out, like, they don't want to work out. They get
okay.
Yeah. I never have that kind of stuff. I never did in my life. I just like it.
Uh-huh.
And if one day I wasn't able to do what I was planning on, and it happens a lot, especially with like a deadlift exercise. Deadlift is really, it has a lot to do with emotions, I think, or how much you ate, how much you slept, a week in advance. I will prepare for a deadlift as far as what I eat. I can't. I know that for example, personally, I don't sleep enough, right? But so at least I could do other stuff. At least I could eat. At least, right? I'll prepare for a lift a week in advance, mentally too. And sometimes you don't get it. Okay, well, I get it next week. Whatever. But it's part of the game. You have to enjoy the journey.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If at your level right now, if it's still building or if it's just maintaining the strength.
I'm building.
And also, you just said so that is also a big thing that I've read this quote which I really liked. You can't out-train a bad diet, and that is something where you just said, okay, you have to sleep to recover. You have to take the breaks. You have to recover. Also, you said with the MMA. Preparation, you said they take certain amounts where they train and then they take a week off.
Every 4 months, a week, you should take a week off. Recovery,
just so the body can settle.
Usually you'll come back much stronger. Come back much stronger.
And so there's sleep, there's break, there's recovery, but also there's nutrition. You need to get your stuff up.
Yeah.
Is it just about pure volume? What do you?
I'm no nutritionist. I just eat.
You just eat.
Yeah, I'm very careful of giving, I give close friends who, advice. This is what I do. But to claim that I'm like an expert nutritionist is just wrong. Yeah.
So recovery, eating enough, training.
Eat, and train and do it, That's pretty much the idea. Just eat and lift.
And while lifting, is there a difference between exercises you do explosively to build explosive strength and just strength in general?
My workout is like I'll do a main exercise and then I'll do like assistance, to help that main exercise,
Mhm.
right? If I go on Sunday, usually, for example, I'll go heavy deadlift. Then on Monday, I'm gonna do heavy bench, and then on Tuesday I'm gonna do heavy squats, and then Wednesday I'm gonna do light shoulders, and I also do like other exercises. Like I do a lot of dumbbell press,
Mhm.
farmers walk. You know what that is?
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Then Thursday it's gonna be usually explosive deadlift, right? And like back exercises to help with that. And then Fridays usually I do heavy shoulders. That's also what I do. I'm not saying what anybody else should do.
But that's how you train.
Yeah. And then every day there's also like other exercises that assist whatever I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. And besides, especially if you talk about grappling or just fighting in general, there's this certain aspect of, okay, strength, cardio. You have to build explosive strength. You have to be able to hold on to someone. But also something that kind of gets disregarded sometimes is mobility, like stretching, working joints.
Yeah, I disregarded that for way too long. For example,
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just laziness, and it's something that I'm working on personally, fixing it now. We do make it a point now to also do stretches as a team together every day. It's important. Also, it prevents injuries. Also, it gives you more strength. By the way,
so it's not just for the level you're competing at, just to improve your performance, but it's also, as you said, with strength, also something that might make you less prone to injury while fighting, while training, because there's just less stuff your body isn't used to going through. Okay. So the pressure can increase while training, and that is also something that is important for combatives training, for Krav Maga, for instance, where you say, okay, these are especially running simulations, running warrior development drills. Sometimes your body is put into very weird positions. Sometimes your body is put on a lot of stress.
That's why when you stretch, or also when you lift, you're less prone to injuries because you're just strong all around. You know, I sometimes when I do like seminars in different places, you know, and I see a guy who's like skinny, like a spaghetti kind of guy, you know, I'm concerned that he'll get crushed.
Yeah,
you know, I'm seriously concerned, and that's gonna hurt the drill. I'm like, I make it shorter. I don't want someone to, you know, to snap him in half. You know, but like I said before, if you make it a goal to be 100% of what you got, what you were born with, and be as strong as you can, you'll be strong. Maybe you're not gonna be the strongest person in the world, but what difference does it make? You'll be stronger than average.
Yeah,
you know.
And also, you said that working this strength, becoming the strongest you can for what you have been given, that also does something to your confidence, and I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's another point about lifting. For power, it gives you a lot of mental strength. You know, and when you have that mental strength, you know, it gives you confidence. You project it when you're outside, and people feel it. People can really feel fear or confidence, you know. And usually nobody starts a fight with a confident person. You know, you look at a guy walking down the street like he knows where he's going, and like confidence. People are gonna usually get out of the way when he passes by. It's like that. People feel it, you know. And when you work out, it gives you a kind of confidence, you know. So that's also a good way of avoiding a fight. Just be strong.
Yeah, and it's not fake confidence. It's not like, okay, just being a dick to people. It's about being like sure of yourself, which is a different approach to how you behave yourself. Yeah. It's not like being the loudest person in the room. It's about being very calm, being just a confident version of.
When you know you're strong, you're confident, and when you're confident, people feel it.
And it's like we said with being able to fight, being capable of violence. You just project that you're less of a victim, or of less of someone who is easily chosen as a victim if you portray that.
Exactly.
And that's the misconception that I've seen a lot of times with, you have like bouncers who are bodybuilders. And I've seen your guys, you're super strong, but you don't have this like super, this bodybuilder aesthetic.
I always, like I said, with a pretty face like me, I don't need it. But when you, like a guy who's like so big and he can't even wipe his own butt, you know?
Yeah.
Usually you don't have to really be concerned about that kind of guy. I always tell people, you see a guy with like flexible shoulders and a little scar on the face and a broken nose, that guy is someone you should probably be much more concerned about than a big bodybuilder.
Yeah.
You know?
So you mean it's just brute strength maybe, but there's not much to that. Because I think most people think that's a strong man. They look at that and that's a strong man.
I'm sure he is strong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's strong if he's a big guy like that, but not as strong as a powerlifter.
Mm-hmm.
Not as strong as a wrestler
Mm-hmm.
either. That explosive power that he's able to just shoot it on a double leg so fast,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and specific strength for fighting. No way he's that strong.
Mm-hmm. I think that's something where most people have this idea because that's how they were introduced to lifting as well. Most people lift for aesthetic reasons. And so that's what they're introduced to. Like, this is the goal. This is what strength looks like. And then sometimes I think that's why also sometimes fighters, I think that might be underestimated for their, like I've seen some of the guys in MMA Jerusalem, and we talked about this one dude where you see him and he's like very slender and like very fit, but he can lift insane amounts of weight, and that's something you wouldn't think just looking at him.
Yeah, well, I think actually, like a person who knows what to look for would see it on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look at a body build, a body type, and you look at his ligament strength,
mm-hmm.
you know, you could feel his handshake, and you could see it's a different kind of strength. You know, like when you powerlift, it gets your like nervous system strong. That's why you get so tired. Also, when you deadlift, for example,
mm-hmm.
it really works everything. You know,
mm-hmm.
it makes you it puts a mass on, but that's not the point of the lift. The point is strength. You know, but I think that a trained eye could actually tell that guy is a strong guy.
Yeah. Sharir, I think this wraps up our 10th episode. Would you like to add anything?
If you're listening to this and you then train, so start training.
Start training.
Start working out. No excuses.
You heard it, guys. Start training and see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.